Come out of recess.
So moved. Second.
Proper second, all in favor? We are now back in the session. Maybe stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll turn the floor over to Dr. Sykes.
All right, and so we are here this evening for a public hearing. The reason for that is that the school board is considering the conveyance of approximately 0.564 of an acre of Middlesex County School Board owned property. It's located at tax map, it's a portion of tax map 29-27B. Located at 6814 General Fuller Highway, which is exactly where we are right now. And so the property is right over here. Let's see, the Hampton Roads Sanitation District has expressed the need for the construction and operation of a pump station for a public sewer system for service to Middlesex County citizens. And that is the portion of property that they are requesting to purchase. In order to do that, the school board does have to declare the property a surplus and state that it is no longer needed by the school board. The school board wishes to retain all of the proceeds of the sale upon approval of the Board of Supervisors, and this also has to be presented to the Board of Supervisors. The Middlesex County School Board has received an offer in the amount of $4,300 for the proposed sale. And so that is the reason for this evening's meeting. Those are the details. I can maybe not. Maybe I need to turn it on to have it work here. So this is a little bit small. This is not the final plat actually, or boundary line adjustment, but this just gives an idea of what we're talking about. So what's highlighted in blue there is the 0.564 acre that surrounds another piece that HRSD has already purchased. And they need for the facility that they're planning to build. So again, this is not the final plat, but it does give an idea of what the property looks like. If you're looking at that, then the St. Clair Walker Middle School, the building is actually located to the left. It's actually the property that's right out here. And this is just a rendition from the architectural company on what the proposed facility potentially would look like. You can see that the aesthetics are similar to St. Clair Walker. There's fencing and screening, all of which are restrictions that are in negotiation now with HRSD. So, any other questions about that?
Any question? Okay.
Then you can open it up.
All right, I'll now open the floor to public comment. Yes, ma'am. You can come forward.
Yes, ma'am.
Kind of getting into this late, but I'm assuming that there have been studies about into the soil and the children in the school next door playing and things like that. Is there a possibility of any of this moving into the soil outside of this structure?
It's just comment.
Let's just comment.
All right,
We're taking your comments, but we can't answer. We won't be able to give you an answer to that. But we'll take your comments and get an answer.
thank you.
Okay?
And I'm sorry, ma'am,
Now,
would you mind stating your name and just your residence?
Sure, I'm Evelyn Beaumont. and I'm a resident. Oh, do you need my home address?
Just city,
Our address is Urbana, but we live in Jamaica district.
Jamaica. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Public comment is now closed. That's it. We'll we'll go back into recess. We got a motion and a second. We'll go back in the recess and we'll meet here again at 7 o'clock. 6:30. I'm sorry. Long day. All right. Could I have a motion to come out of recess?
So moved.
Second. Properly second, all in favor?
Aye.
Could I have a motion to go into close? So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye. Up and down, left. Up and down. I was like, wait a minute.
Could I have a motion to go out of close?
So move.
Second. Moving proper second, all in favor?
Aye.
We're now in open session. Right, we need to verify. Yes, we need to verify, thank you. Guess I need to read this again. All right, one more time. In pursuant to the Code of Virginia, the board has discussed personnel matters, student matters, and legal matters during closed session. Matters discussed in closed session have been added to the consent agenda and other parts of the agenda as action and information items. Members, please certify that only lawful matters were discussed in closed session. Board members, please respond to roll call.
Chairman Reed,
Yes.
Vice Chair Burnett,
Yes.
Mrs. McMurtry,
Yes.
and Mrs. Socek.
Yes.
I guess we'll stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance again. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any additions or corrections to the agenda?
I move those financial reports that were submitted and the corrections be added to the agenda. Second.
Proper second, all in favor? Motion is so carried. Next, we have public announcements. August the 7th, new teachers report. August the 9th, convocation, all staff report. August the 14th, school board meeting at St. Clair Walker at 6:30 p.m. August the 17th, open house at all schools from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And August the 21st, first day of school. Dr. Sykes, we have some recognitions.
Recognitions, I would like to recognize Middlesex High School, the staff, the students. Mrs. Fleet is here. We had posted this on Facebook a little bit ago, as soon as I got the information from the Virginia Department of Education, but we were selected to receive the 2022-2023 Virginia Board of Education's Highest Achievement Exemplar Award. And to receive this recognition, a school has to first be accredited, and then there's other criteria that have to be met also, and that they've met the benchmarks in reading, mathematics, science, and these are based on the 2021-2022 assessment data, that all of our student groups meet all of the benchmarks. And so it's not just the overall pass rates, but it's all of our student groups in that category. I would like to note, because I don't think that most people know this, but for this 2022-2023 award, only 48 schools in the state of Virginia received and met the criteria for this award. So this is a big deal that we're able to celebrate one of our schools. There were only 2 schools in the Region 3 superintendent's regions. Region 3 is of course, the region that we're in, and that is all of the Middle Peninsula, Northern Neck, and it goes to Fredericksburg, Stafford, and Spotsylvania. So Middlesex High School and only one other school was attained this honor. So that's a kudos to Mrs. Fleet's leadership there, to our specialists who work closely with our teachers, the dedication of our staff, to our students who were showing up and seeing their day through and getting it, getting everyththing done. There are families who supported them, and then all the support we received from our community. So.
All right, thank you so much. Well done, Ms. Fleet.
Goes beyond just
Hold on. Okay. Next, we'll open the floor for public comment. See it none, public, the floor is now closed. All right. Next, we have, board member committee reports.
We have some exciting news from Bridging Communities. We've received a grant for $125,000 in order to be able to, I think it's 11 outboard motors and through Yamaha. And our students will be able to have 4 certifications when they finish that program. It really is, particularly for our area where our marinas need so many young people and people who are knowledgeable of motors. And so this is really exciting to be partnered with Yamaha.
Dr. Bernard?
The MHS School Construction Committee met for the second time at the end of last month. Had a really good meeting. And our homework assignment is to come back with some questions for a consultant that will be hired to help us along with this process. So we're moving, and I'll have more to report next. Dr. Seitz, do you want to add anything? Because you were present as well.
I would say it was a very good meeting, that we could not necessarily talk about ideas, but really start to develop what our plan is going forward. And we have, meetings set up for I think it's the last Wednesday of each month. And like Dr. Burnett said, we have homework to come back to the next meeting with questions. I'll have some data on some things, and then we're kicking it off with what questions do we need to answer as we look at this renovation project.
I don't have a report, but I just wanted to reiterate with Mrs. Fleet that you attribute everything to the student, staff, faculty, but you're a very strong leader. And you can tell.
And my report will be followed up with Hampton Roads. Okay. Next, we have the consent agenda. Got a motion, please.
So move.
Second,
Move properly second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next, we have action items. Action items. Dr. Syke.
All right, the first one is, this is a policy revision on first read, so you did not see this one last month, and this is on page 10 in your packet. It's policy JEC-R2 tuition, and specifically it is for non-resident student tuition. And the policy needed to be updated because in the past, we've been able to use the free and reduced lunch application to determine whether families are eligible for reduced tuition. Because we are a community eligible, we participate in the community eligibility provision, meaning all of our students receive free lunch, and there is no application that has to be submitted. You're not allowed to use the form for anything else. And so we will be creating a new form using the federal poverty level income guidelines. And so that, again, we're not using the federal free and reduced lunch form. And so you'll see what that update looks like on here. I will ask to make another change though. If you're looking at page 10, just the headline or the heading where it says first child, $500 per year, and additional siblings, $250, and then goes down to the next other underlined area. We actually don't need those because that's what's contained in the table that's below that. And so I am gonna ask him to strike that from this first read, those two pieces on the tuition page.
Okay.
Any other questions about that one? If you don't have any other questions, and that one is a first read, and so it does need action separate from the next section.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moving properly second, all in favor?
Aye.
And so carried. Okay.
All right, so the next item is policy revisions on second reading. There have been no changes or updates since you saw them in last month's first reading.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve all policies on second reading?
So move. Second.
Moving properly second, all in favor?
Aye.
And the motion is so carried.
All right, and then the next is you'll have in your packet a resolution to authorize sale of property that is located on page 169. So as you are aware, HRSD or Hampton Road Sanitation District expressed a need for 0.564 of an acre of property owned by Middlesex County School Board. HRSD has offered $4,300 for the property. The school board has to declare that the property is surplus, meaning that the school board no longer needs that portion. The school board has indicated its desire to sell the property to HRSD and retain the proceeds upon approval of the Board of Supervisors, which I'll be presenting to them. And these funds we plan to use for a visitor management photo identification system. For St. Clair Walker Middle School, it would be the same type of system that our visitors use when they come to Middlesex Elementary School. The conveyance of the property to HRSD is for the construction and operation of a pump station for a public sewer system to service Middlesex County citizens. And then lastly, a signed resolution would authorize the chairperson or the vice chairperson of the Middlesex County School Board to execute a deed and all documents necessary for sale. I will let you know that, I feel like I told you this last month also, that we're very close to finalizing the wording of the deed, but it has not been completely finalized yet with our council and the council that represents HRSD. And so I did want to let you know that.
I move we table this motion until the council's in agreement with the wording on the deed.
Okay,
A second.
moving properly second. Before we, just want to have a little discussion on it. I have visited the sites by Hampton Road Sanitation. I actually went over to Surrey and Matthews, and they were very, very well maintained facilities. From odor to the groundskeeping, there was really no odor. Everything was neat, signage was in place. I really, you know, they've done a good job from what I could see, and I would expect the same thing here. Being this one is more visible than what those were that I visited. So I would expect them to really do a good job at maintaining and keeping the facility up the way it should be. So, all right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion is so carried. Okay. All right, next we have instructional. Dr. Bishop.
Right, just a short report today. We had great summer school sessions at the summer enrichment camp of where almost 100 students in grades 2 through 8 were in the camp with music and theater, entrepreneurship, nature, outer space exploration. They didn't go to outer space, but they learned about it, and story time and lots of great stuff that was there. I'd like to thank Macy Swift, our gifted and talented coordinator, for organizing this and sending out the information to all the parents, of course, the teachers who volunteered their time and the paraprofessionals, and also very importantly, transportation department for transporting these students. Students were also chosen to participate in extra reading instruction in grades 1 through 5, and they receive support in small groups. Just to help keep their reading skills up to par and help improve those reading skills. And students also are participating. This is the last week in the Freshman Academy led by Mr. Lane and Ms. Fleet, forming friendships, understanding the expectations of high school, getting excited about the new year. This is a big transition for our freshman students, and this is just going to get them on the right foot. And then also Compass Academy had students who needed classes in credit recovery, just to keep them in pace for their on-time graduation. And students were also had an opportunity to go to CBGS, Chesapeake Bay Governor School. They offered a math jumpstart program. So that is the summer programming. And right now, student schedules for next year are being finalized at the elementary, middle, and high school, and working on continuing to work through those so that our students are in the right classes in the right spot.
All right. I'll now open the floor again for public comment. Seeing none, public comment is now closed. All right, superintendent's report. Dr. Sykes?
I'll just give a couple of summer updates also, just piggybacking really on some of the things that Dr. Bishop shared. All our departments are working on getting our buildings ready for instruction in the physical needs that our buildings have. Handbooks are being updated, reports, technology, maintenance. Dr. Bishop and I spent a little bit of time at the high school today to see some of the work that's being done back in our athletic side as we're redesigning and actually creating team rooms and space for the new athletic trainer that we're very excited to have there. Some temporary work until we can get to a renovation at some point at the high school, but making the accommodations better for our students there. And so while we were there, the evolved weapons detection system devices were delivered to the schools today. So we were quick to get those processed and delivered. So next steps will be installing and training and then communication with all of that to our families and community. Bay Design Group has been working with the Department of Environmental Quality on the overflow parking lot. We had hoped to have that started, but we ran into some things. Actually, there were new requirements that the DEQ put in place once we started this process. And so I'll be on a call, I think it's Thursday of this week. It doesn't matter necessarily, Wednesday or Thursday, with Bay Design Group and DEQ, talking about what those next steps are. So that's I should have more of an update for you at our next meeting on what that timeline looks like now, because it has been extended a little bit.
In question, the finances are in place, even though it's taking longer than we.
Yes. Yes, right. Now we do have to be done by next summer, but
Right.
yes,
24.
yes, they are in place. And our new teachers report actually 4 weeks from today.
No.
And then we have convocation for all of our staff a couple of days after that. So lots of work going on right now, getting everything ready for everyone. So that's my update.
All right. Okay, do we have any old business? Any new? Be it none, I have a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion is so carried. We're now adjourned.